How 48 teams become one champion. World Cup 2026 explained. 48 countries, 16 cities, 3 nations hosting, 1 trophy. This summer, the biggest sporting event on the planet just got even bigger. And honestly, a little more chaotic. And if you have no idea how it all works, you're not alone. Most people just show up when their country plays and hope for the best. But today, we're going to fix that. In the next 4 minutes, I'm going to walk you through exactly how 48 teams enter this tournament and how only one walks out as world champion. And somewhere in the middle of this, there's a twist to the format that nobody talks about, and it genuinely changes everything. Let's go. For most of its history, the World Cup had 32 teams. Clean, balanced, made sense. Then FIFA looked at the 32-team format and said, you know what this needs? More teams, more chaos, more money. And so in 2026, for the first time ever, we're going 48. That's a 50% increase. If the World Cup were a party, they just unlocked the basement. But here's the thing. More teams means more games. More games means more drama. And more drama, well, that's exactly what we're here for. The 48 teams get split into 12 groups. 12. That's up from 8 in the old format. Each group has 4 teams. Those 4 teams play each other once, so every group produces 3 matches. In theory, this is straightforward. 4 teams, 3 games, sorted. In practice, every single one of those games matters. There's almost no room to breathe. Here's how it works. The top 2 teams from each group advance automatically. That's 24 teams moving forward. And then, here's where it gets interesting. The 8 best third-place finishers also advance. So coming third doesn't automatically kill you. You might still survive. That's not a consolation prize. That's a lifeline. Think of it like finishing third in a race, but still making the Olympic team because your time was fast enough. You didn't win the race, but you're still in the conversation. So now we've got 32 teams left. This is where the knockout stage begins. Win, you advance. Lose, you go home. Book your flights. It's over. This sounds simple. It isn't, because the bracket is set up based on group performance. Who you drew in the group stage basically determines your path through the entire tournament. A team that cruises through a weak group could end up on the easy side of the bracket. A team that barely scrapes through a brutal group might have to face a giant in round 1. Luck matters more than people admit, and anyone who tells you otherwise has never filled out a bracket. 32 becomes 16. Same rules. Win or go home. The tournament is starting to feel real now. The casual fans are tuning in. The group chats are getting active. Your uncle who doesn't really follow football suddenly has very strong opinions about the referee. You know the type. At this point, the tournament has a pulse. Every match carries weight. One bad half of football and a nation's entire summer collapses. 16 becomes 8. This is the round where legends are made or reputations are shattered. The quarterfinals are where the best teams left alive figure out who actually belongs here. By now, the underdogs who snuck through the group stage in 3rd place are either quietly packing their bags or, and this is the beautiful part, still somehow here, causing absolute havoc. In theory, the best teams should dominate by now. In practice, someone always does something no one saw coming. That's not a bug in the World Cup format. That's the feature. 8 becomes 4. 4 teams left in the entire world. Think about that. Out of every country on Earth that qualified, only 4 are still standing. The semifinals are brutal because there's no silver lining to losing here. You're this close. You can see the final, and then you lose. And instead of playing in the most watched sporting event on the planet, you play in the 3rd place match, which, let's be honest, nobody really wants to play in. Everyone shows up. Nobody actually wants to be there. 2 teams, 1 match, no second chances. The World Cup final is the most watched single sporting event in human history. Hundreds of millions of people tuned in. Billions of eyeballs. 1 football, 90 minutes. Plus, however much extra time the referee decides to invent to determine which country gets to spend the next 4 years telling everyone about it. And at the end of all that, after 48 teams, 104 matches, weeks of football, thousands of miles traveled, and one nation's entire emotional well-being placed on a group of 11 players. One team lifts the trophy. 1 out of 48. So here's the full picture. 48 teams enter. 12 groups whittle them down to 32. A knockout bracket cuts that to 16, then 8, then 4, then 2. And one team, one country, walks away as world champion. The whole thing is built to produce moments, upsets, heroes, heartbreak, and occasionally, a third-place finisher from the group stage who nobody believed in making a run, nobody expected. That's the format. That's the madness. And that's exactly why, every 4 years, the whole world stops and watches. Here's the question worth sitting with. With 48 teams in the mix for the first time ever, does that mean more room for a true underdog story? Or does it just give the giants more guaranteed games before they eventually meet each other anyway? I genuinely don't know, and I think that's the most exciting thing about 2026. If you want more breakdowns like this, tactics, history, big moments explained fast, subscribe. New video coming before the tournament kicks off. Don't miss it.